This is Ray, Manchester United supporter and P1 supporter. Fuck the rest of the league. Red Devils are going to win this shit. Peace out, baby. Oh, and you're listening to DU Football Show.
The delusional tears of Manchester United fans are sponsored by Arsenal. Thank you very much.
Well, I mean, come on. They're delusional, but we just saw a cat video that said another club's kind of delusional.
Believe everything on the internet. That's about the age you are, actually.
Yeah, that's about where we go, and it's how we believe. Let's start the show.
Born in the land of Bowie, Maryland. Bred to be a fan of fucking Everton. Punch you in the eye and drink your rye. Sam Houston.
Sam Houston?
Arsenal fans have another Sam. AKA the fucking Gooner Graham. Snub the Malört. Look straight in shorts. Sam Graham, hey.
Sam Graham.
Fucking United! Fucking United!
Hello and welcome to the 8th season of the DU Football Show, a completely biased recap of the English Premier League as told by two common American schmucks. I am your host, Sam Houston, and across the way from me, it's just a little wormhole stuck in his head. My co-host, Mr. Samuel Graham. How you doing over there, Mr. Graham?
Doing very well, thank you very much.
Very good. I love it. You see what I did there?
See what you did there.
You know, that's how it works. It's what we do.
Yeah, no one else knows about it.
Of course, on the ones and twos, Producer Mel. Producer Mel, how are you doing, madame?
Making sure I hit all the buttons at the right button hitting time.
Very good. I've made a slight script change to injury time to reflect
My button hitting?
what it is that you do.
Oh, good. Injury time, where all of dozens listen.
Already starting off the season fucking with me. Already fucking
But
with me.
we could have more dozens listening if you just go to patreon.com/DU Football Show.
That's my motherfucking whore.
I'm good at it, man. 8 years in.
We're recording at the DU Public House just outside the nation's capital. You can check us out wherever you get your podcasts. And, of course, streaming live every single Monday night. Should you want to chat with us, there is many ways that you can. Mr. Graham, tell the good people how they can get in touch.
Absolutely. It's at DU Football Show on all the social medias except X. And DU Football Show at DUFootballShow@gmail.com to get in touch via email.
If you're streaming us, honestly, best way, YouTube, because that's where the bulk of the crew is, and that's kind of where the bulk of the crew does their chat. So if you,
like to get involved?
Right. Mel is going to be able to see the chat, but she's also doing 20 other things, so she's not always going to be able to keep up with it. The two of us are not seeing the chat at all. We're looking at a camera that's right in front of our face, and we're looking at each other. We have no idea what you're saying. So,
Unless she tells us.
but the YouTube is probably the best place to do it because that's where the kind of the whole collection, the gathering of geese would be.
Murder.
Yeah, the murder, yes. And
Is that geese or crows?
that's ravens are a murder.
Yeah.
What's a? Is it just a flock? Is it geese?
I think a
Lame?
gaggle. I think a gaggle
Oh, a
of
gaggle
geese
could be
works
gaggle.
perfectly fine.
Yeah, you
Gaggle
might.
of geese.
That
That's what
sounds
I
more
said.
familiar.
That's what I said first.
You didn't say gaggle.
I did. I said a gaggle of geese.
I don't think you did.
I would tell you to go back and
You know
listen
what?
to
Go
the
over to
tape.
the YouTubes and leave a comment.
I would tell you to go back and listen to the tape, but you and I both know
I
you
fucking
won't do that.
Yeah, no.
Sam and myself both work in the wine and spirit industry and both have a deep, passionate love for all things distilled spirits. So as the red-blooded Americans we are, we vow to have a drink in our hand throughout this show and every single show. Mr. Graham, what are we drinking today?
So what I have for you today is something brand new from Glenfiddich.
Whiskey
this
without
is
the E.
their 16-year-old partnership with the Aston Martin Formula One team. Exclusively matured and married in American oak casks to create a rich and layered sweetness. So the cool thing about this one is it's basically a triple cask. And they use first fill American oak, second fill bourbon casks, and then American oak wine casks.
Oh, fun. Okay.
Are the three casks used here, aged for a total of 16 years, and it is lovely.
It's quite good. I was wondering if there was still some still wine to it, right? Because it has a little bit of that kind of red fruit thing going on, and it's not just caramel vanilla bomb. So glad to hear that there's some wine to that as well, because I was wondering if my mind was playing tricks on me.
No, and it wouldn't surprise me if it was some sort of...
There's a lot going on in this one.
Oh, yeah, it's excellent. If there was some sort of softer red. Not like, I don't think it's a cab cask, for instance. I think it's probably a Pinot Noir or Merlot.
Yeah, something not
easy. Not as high in tannin, but it's absolutely scrumptious. I fucking love this.
What is it on the shelf?
86 proof, and you're going to be looking around $80.
That ain't bad
on a shelf. It is a limited run, though, so whatever we got in, that's what we got.
While it's there.
So buy it while it's there.
You know, watch it make the fucking list, you know?
Yeah.
Of course
but,
it will.
The other piece to that is you never know. I mean, obviously, if it goes well, even after they may keep it around and then just, when the contract's up with Aston Martin, it's done.
Right.
But they keep it on as a 16-year-old offering regularly. Who knows? As of now, the plan is it's a limited time offer.
Yeah.
But the other thing that I have for you all is something, a very much more anticipated giant release. Something that we're not as excited about personally, but we're not every man, Mm-hmm. So I was able to get a second round of samples. And in the great state of Maryland, all of these pre-ordered cases come out and will be delivered into your local liquor stores next week. The week of the 25th.
I know what we've got coming our way.
I've got the new Fireball Blazing Apple.
Very good.
For you to try at some point during the show. I didn't want to bury the lead or fuck with the flavor of the scotch, and I knew we'd be excited to try it, so I didn't want to do it prior to the scotch, because this Glenfiddich is fucking phenomenal.
EFL show?
Sure.
Let's do it for the EFL show. Perfect.
Sounds like a plan.
Love it. And what else should we always do?
Always
Mr.
remember
Graham?
to drink responsibly.
Excellent. Very good. That's right. We should probably cheers our my wife. She's up there holding the glass, producing segments and shit. And
you know what? Fuck it.
I'm sorry. I was trying to make sure I was ready with the papers to get right into the show and do my job correctly and all that kind of stuff. Forgive me for trying to be efficient.
Okay.
I just like awkward pauses. We open with two big matches with two different reasons. One for remembrance and the other a rivalry. Liverpool 4, Bournemouth 2, Arsenal 1, Manchester United 0. Beautiful tribute to the unfortunate passing of their teammate Diego Jota before the game, in the 20th minute of the game, and with each and every single goal that was scored by the Liverpool players. And I'm sure you'll get to the last goal and what was the celebration that Mo Salah did. But
this summer was tough for the football community. Obviously, with Andre Silva and Diogo Jota's passing in a single car accident in the north of Spain, on the way to a ferry to take them to England, which is, just absolutely tragic. A player who was just gotten married a few days before, 3 kids, I think it is, with his longtime girlfriend and now wife. Someone with the world at his feet, and cut down in their prime. And we said it, a long time ago when Christian Eriksen collapsed on the field. You think of these people as heroes, as superheroes, as all this kind of stuff. They are just people with families, with loved ones, with moms, with dads, with sisters and brothers and kids and wives. And when you lose somebody, especially suddenly and tragically, it makes it all the more unpalatable.
Right.
Makes it all the more difficult.
Yeah.
But when it's somebody that's that talented, that loves this game and the game that's given us all so much, right? And this game in many ways is our safe space. Is our escape from all of those troubles of our everyday lives. And when death infiltrates that safe space is terrible.
Right.
It makes us all feel that much more and that much more personally, even though we didn't know the man. Obviously loved within the squad. Players were on holiday finally. Football ended for the season finally.
Right.
And most of them, it dropped everything they were doing and flew immediately to Portugal.
Right.
Everyone was there, really. And even Ruben Neves stepped off the field at the Club World Cup and immediately got on a flight, to get back to Portugal to be with his best friend's family.
Right.
And it came, it was the thing that started a bunch of loss this summer. One very close to this parish, who we've talked to personally. I'm not going to put his information or business out there, but he knows who he is, and we've sent our condolences that way. Another sudden and tragic passing. Ozzy, obviously, another superstar legend, kind of superhero essentially kind of person, even though we knew his health issues and all that kind of stuff. And then
massive Villa supporter, and his final concert was at Villa
Park, right? And it was 11 days after the concert is when he passed or something. It's like he was living his life for that moment, right?
He was literally him
holding on for that moment,
saying goodbye to Birmingham. That's literally what he was doing. Was saying goodbye.
And that was beautiful and lovely. The very kind of and both ends of the spectrum, mixed emotions of even somebody like Hulk Hogan,
right?
7-year-old me was devastated, but I didn't know he was a cunt. When I was 7, I loved wrestling when I was 7, and he was a hero, right? When I was 7. As an adult, I feel way less bad about it in adult Sam mind, because he was a cunt. But 7-year-old me is just like, oh fuck, and that was the same week as Ozzy. That was a kick in the dick, kind of. Just, but obviously a lot of things that he did and even things that he did in wrestling that I wasn't aware of as a 7-year-old were problematic. Right. I mean, there's a lot of issues there, but little 7-year-old Sammy in front of the TV, I had the yellow headband, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So nostalgically, that sucked too.
Right.
It was just, one of those just like, God damn, it was like one hit after another this summer. And to see this outpouring of emotion across the entire league all weekend.
Yeah, every game had a moment of silence. You could hear a pin drop at every single park.
It was awesome. Every stadium, most stadiums, I think, sung his song. Wolves obviously did theirs. The other English club he played for did their tribute in the 18th minute, their minute of applause, because he wore number 18 for them. And everybody had these massive, beautiful tifos and all sorts of stuff. It was lovely to see the outpouring of love. Obviously, Liverpool did the right thing, and kind of lived by their own motto. Apparently, they've honored his contract with his wife, so she will be paid in full. The remainder of his contract. They have a lot of teammates, and I believe the club have all made donations to the children's education and all of that kind of stuff as well, to make sure the kids are taken care of, moving forward and all of that as well. But just, that's what football's about. That's the release that the game is supposed to give you, right? And then you turn around, was 60 minutes into the game and you have a Dickie in a wheelchair yelling racist shit at Antoine Semenyo.
Well, that was actually in the first half, but
it wasn't in the first half.
But here's now getting kind of more to the action. Offensively for Liverpool, exactly what they wanted, right?
Mm-hmm.
Defensively for Liverpool, lucky it was Bournemouth they were playing.
There were some question marks.
Because
there absolutely were some question marks.
This was City or Arsenal or Chelsea, they would have made them pay a lot worse. Like if you're a Liverpool fan, the two brand new fullbacks did not cover themselves in glory. And the center backs, the thing we talked about them last season, particularly with Van Dijk, still applies. Looks a step slower, right? Now there are players, they have people, they need to work them all in.
Well,
but that if the performance was very good as a whole from the team, they found a way to win. Slot made the right changes at the right times. They did all of that right. It still doesn't negate the fact that a player went from the 18 to the other 18 right down the middle of your fucking field in your stadium and put it in the back of the fucking net.
Now, what I will say about Antoine Semenyo, though, is he is one of the most two-footed wingers in this league.
Oh, absolutely.
Which is one of the hardest things to defend against, right?
Because you don't know which way he's going to go with his foot.
You look at somebody like, and here we go again, because I'm going to use the Arsenal example. You look at somebody like Saka. You think of years past as somebody like Arjen Robben, or who always seemed to figure it out anyway, or even Frank Ribery. Players that would play Robert Pires, for instance, would play on the flank of their weaker foot, right? So Pires was right-footed, played on the left. Martinelli is right-footed, plays on the left. Saka left-footed, plays on the right. 9 times out of 10, they're going to cut in. That's what they want to do. It gives them a better angle to shoot at. It gives them a decent angle to cross at, all that kind of stuff, right? It's a tactical thing to do that. But it makes it a touch easier to defend against.
Right, because you just cut off their middle.
Because you cut off their middle. It gives you a route to defend. When Semenyo's running at you, you don't know what the fuck to do.
Yeah, he can go either way.
He can go either way and produce absolute fucking quality either way. So, Van Dijk, yes, is a step slower. Positionally, I think he's still very aware. But
he's still one of the best center backs in the game.
The times that he's
become noticeable.
The times that he's looked his worst is when last season Robertson or Tsimikas, so far obviously we're 90 minutes into the season, Kirkes, and then on the other side with Frimpong pushing so far up, right? And it's just the same issue City had. I mean, Wolves should have scored a few goals on the counter, but Matusi, whoever it is for Wolves, couldn't stay on side to save his life.
Right.
But they recycle possession so well, and they push further and further and further up. They just leave Van Dijk isolated, and now being a step slower is going to be found out by these things, right? By a pacey two-footed player like this is going to be way easier found out. So it's one of those things that their own tactics are putting him at a disadvantage almost.
Right.
But it was a great display from Liverpool. I mean, attacking wise, you couldn't have asked for anything better. Florian Wirtz gets an assist.
Again, I told you it was
Salah
perfect.
scores, Ekitike scores. You're looking at all of the, obviously not in that order, but you're looking at everyone that you wanted to scored. Everybody broke their duck.
Yeah. Yes, producer Mel, what you got for us?
Mike in the chat, speaking of Ekitike, did I say that right?
Yeah,
Ekitike,
I think.
Ekitike. If you are Liverpool, why sign Isaac when you have Ekitike?
Well, this is another thing, right? This is why you don't act like a cunt,
right?
Alexander Isak, because of this. And I've already seen at least 2 different jerseys floating around the internet of Newcastle shirts that have Isak Hunt, ISAKUNT on the back of a shirt. Which is fantastic.
Why?
But this is why you don't act like that, because Liverpool now don't need to spend another $140 million. He looks like he's slotted in perfectly. I mean, the Community Shield, he scored obviously. Now in this game, he scored and he provided an assist as well, I believe.
Well, why do they sign him? Because Liverpool doesn't just want to win the league; they want to win the treble.
They want to win a treble, yeah, absolutely.
That's exactly what they want to do. And
you need you do need rotation.
You need rotation.
I mean, you absolutely need rotation,
especially with Ekitike is very, very young, so he's there'll be most young players you'll see there'll be streaks. They go up and down quite a bit, and having someone who's just a proven goal scorer like Isak, they can just slide right in, nice and easy, and
also mentor Ekitike a bit, and it just offer you something a little different. The other piece, I mean, look at somebody like Rodrigo Muniz, right, for Fulham. Burst onto the scene, scored in like 6 consecutive games when he first got started when Jimenez got hurt. Then he went missing.
Yeah.
Then Jimenez came back and forced his way back into the team, and it was now you wouldn't start Muniz.
Right.
Well, that's why you do that as a big club. Yeah. You need that rotation, and you need those players pushing each other. But it's a lot less mandatory than it was by these 2 displays, in my opinion. It's not as urgent as a matter.
So one more talking point about Liverpool, and then we're gonna move to what happened with Semedo, his response, the whole 9, everything. Mo Salah's goal, number 4, right at the end of the match that put the match away. The celebration he did was the celebration that Jota did for the final goal he scored.
With the video game one, where he sat down and pretended to play video games. The other one. Yeah.
He did. It was the exact same celebration as Jota.
That's nice.
And everybody else was kind of like doing the 2-0, which is fine. However you celebrate.
Was it the third goal somebody did the video game?
That was Chitske, the new guy.
Yeah,
that came in on as a sub.
Oh no, Chiesa. Federico Chiesa was there last. He scored the third goal.
Okay, yes. Sorry, yes, Chiesa.
He was there last season. Just didn't play much.
Yeah, that's right. So yes, that's who scored the third goal, and he did that.
Yeah.
All right. So around the 26th minute,
but then Salah also at the end of the game, joining in with the cop for Jota's chant.
Yeah.
And physically, the emotion just getting to him and bursting into tears.
Oh yeah.
I mean,
absolutely.
it's grief is not lineal.
Yeah.
Right. It comes in waves, and it comes in all sorts of forms and shapes. It could be anger, it could be depression, it could be sadness, it could be all sorts of different things, and it could be a motivator. It could be a lot of different things. And I think you saw the Liverpool family come together, come through a little bit of adversity, because Bournemouth did play well. They fought themselves back into the game.
Bournemouth, in the first half, it was 1-0, but Bournemouth could have put a couple in the back of the net. They played them.
They played them very well.
They played them very, very well.
But then you see this this outpouring of emotion from Salah just breaking down at the end. I mean, it's going to happen like that all season, I feel like.
All right, so I want to talk about Semedo, wrap this game up, because we still got to talk about your game too, and I know you're going to want to talk 3 hours about that.
Ain't much going on there.
There was not much going on there. Now, 26th minute, there is a Liverpool supporter, as Semedo is on the sidelines getting ready to do a throw-in, that makes some racist remarks. First and foremost, look right at the camera for this one. You don't need to make fun of the fact that the dude was in a wheelchair. Just make fun of the fact that he's a racist fucking cunt. Making fun of the fact that he's in a wheelchair it's a protected class, just like race and sex and identity and all of those things. So just to fucking make fun of the fact that the dude's in a wheelchair, you're also being a cunt. Mock him for being an asshole.
I'm not gonna mock him for it, but I'll say the same thing I said about that Jewish store owner I had who was racist. It's like, your people have literally been the most hated people on this planet for 5,000 years. I don't personally agree with that view. I don't hate you at all for being a Jewish, but you should know a thing or two about how it feels to be hated against.
Right.
So why are you doing it to someone else?
Right. Why are you doing it to someone else?
That's the only part about him being in a wheelchair that I would bring up.
The good news is he was immediately found out. He was immediately escorted out.
And those around him apparently were helpful in calling him out. Yeah.
Said, that's the asshole who did it, which is good to see. The Liverpool players immediately consoling Semedo and being like, that's not cool. That's not how we roll. And that's not what we should be.
He stood up to it as well. He reported it to the referee.
Yeah, he went, hey, that guy right there just said some shit.
He said, I heard some racist stuff or whatever. And the people around that guy pointed that guy out.
Yeah. So,
which was good by those supporters.
And, all of that to be said, that also, I mean, that cunt was no longer in the stadium to see it. But Semedo went ahead and scored 2 fucking goals, including one where he went the length of the fucking field and on his own, and put it in the back of the net. And he didn't have to dribble around a lot of people. It was just a direct right up the middle thing. There's a lot that can go wrong in 70 yards of field with the ball at your foot.
For sure.
In fact, that's typically what a defenseman banks on, is you'll fuck it up and then I'll take the ball from you.
Yep. And a heavy touch or what have you. Yeah.
And, there was a little bit, he said a little something afterwards too, didn't he?
Yes. So he put out a statement. I don't have it in front of me, so it's not going to be a direct quote, but essentially praising the Liverpool supporters that helped turn the guy in, the Liverpool fans, team for offering support, the referee for offering support and taking his claim seriously, as well as the stewards and his own team. He said, what happened at Anfield last night will stay with me forever, basically. But this is what football's about. The football family came together to to stand up for something that should be stood up for.
Yeah.
Essentially.
Yep.
Was, and it meant a lot to him and will stay with him forever.
Absolutely.
It's unfortunate that it happened, but he'd like to be able to enjoy, a different result and enjoy his goals a bit more. But the stain was there, but he's left with a warm feeling because of how everyone reacted to it.
Yeah. Now, moving on to the marquee matchup of the weekend, which ended up being rather turgid and not very entertaining to watch. In fact, a bit of a drag, but
It was difficult.
But it was two of the biggest clubs and one of the biggest rivalries in all of English football. Allow me to say these first two things, and then I'll kind of let you go. Gunners looked meh, but good enough to win. Man U looked improved, but not good enough to win. Is really what it came down to.
So David Raya saved the day a couple of times.
Yes, very
United
much so.
probably on the balance of play deserved a draw. But that being said, there was a couple situations where things could have gotten worse for them, right? We talked about Luke Shaw's holding of Gabriel earlier today.
Yeah.
On the flip side to that, Saliba and Cunha could have been given as a penalty, potentially. But they, Arsenal seemed to settle down and kind of dictate much of the pace of play, but stalled out in the final third. And then United would hit them on the break.
Right.
And the players that they've acquired in Cunha and Mbeumo are very, very good at playing on the break, as both of their teams that they played with last season, Wolves and Brentford respectfully, both played on the break a lot.
But no one could seem to put it away for
But
him.
no one could seem to finish. Now, but that's where I said David Raya at full stretch at least 3 times I could think of.
Yeah.
So United, Amarim was saying it last season. I mean, haven't had time to work with these players, all this kind of stuff, right? I haven't had time to, impart my system, and there's such a bad feeling around the club with what happened previously and all this kind of stuff. They look more organized. They did not add to their defense, and they did not add a goalkeeper. That is going to be a problem for them this season.
I have a feeling they're going to be adding a goalkeeper this week.
But their excuse me, attacking prowess issue seems to have been fixed. Their hunger issue seems to have been fixed. Just look at their running stats and their heat map.
Yeah.
They look night and day from last season.
I mean, the bar was so low. But
that's also true.
Here's what you could say about them. They look like they cared. I don't know, cunt. You should care every fucking week you play footy. That's exactly what you should be.
But from the Arsenal perspective, it was a bit of a slow start. Still betting in some new players. They had a lot of newer players start, or players that were kind of bit part / injured a lot, like Calafiori, who scored the goal.
Right.
Was injured a lot of last season. He played 7 games or something, whatever it was. Almost like a new signing, kind of. You've got Havertz back integrated in the squad. Obviously, Gyökeres. I think if the two main ones, if Zubamendi and Gyökeres had been purchased earlier in the summer, I think Arsenal roll United 3-0 here.
Yeah, well, what's going to help?
But I think they've only had 2 weeks or so with the team. I don't think they're fully integrated. It's a complicated system as well. I don't know that they're, that also affects the game of Declan Rice. It affects the game of Saka. It affects the game of Odegaard. And it affects the game of Martinelli in that situation. And then once Martinelli came off, Madueke came on, and Gyökeres came off for Havertz, it kind of, those players have never played together, it seems like. And that just completely stymied anything we had going forward, so we went into full defensive mode. And we coped.
What I think, what's noticeable is set pieces still, and what was impressive was it was very different looking set pieces, the way that they attacked. So everybody's like, "Ooh, Arsenal's really good at set pieces. Let's be ready for it." They're like, "Okay, well, fuck you. We're going to do it different, and we're still going to score on you, and we're still going to make you pay, and we're still going to be chaos," which was good.
31 goals, I think, in the last 2 seasons from set pieces. The closest to us is 11 behind us.
Yeah. I think that's us from last season.
Could be.
Yeah. But the other thing that's noticeable, and this is the big thing that will pay dividends later in the season, the depth. You could legitimately change any position on the pitch at any time if needed. And if someone's missing, it's not going to be the dire end of the world.
Right.
Anyone.
Exactly right.
Anyone on that pitch you can replace at some point. Will it hurt to not have Saka? Of course. But you got plenty of people who can play in his place.
Absolutely.
You've got depth. It's not like when you were missing Odegaard and him last season where it just murdered you as a team.
Yeah.
You were done and dusted before you even had a chance. In this instance, the depth is there. You look solid.
Absolutely. And I think we're only going to grow with confidence. A result like this, that we kind of ground out a little bit, only builds that togetherness and that confidence. It builds that back against the wall. We've got this kind of mentality. We do it together. We play as a team, and bang, we're in with a shout.
And frankly, your history at Old Trafford has never been that great. So
now, although this was the sixth game in a row, though, that United have not. We're unbeaten in 6 at Old Trafford now. But over the last forever, I think we've won before these 6. We won once in 13 years or something there.
First game of the season, job done. That's really how you got to look at it. Was it pretty? No, but job fucking done.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. It's a huge result and a huge way to start the season. Get one of the big 6 out the way and you're off.
3 clubs had impressive starts after going into the season with a lot of questions. Sunderland 3, West Ham 0. Tottenham 3, Burnley 0, Nottingham Forest 3, Brentford 1. What a fucking scene at the Stadium of Light. Like that is old Goodison Park, the all safe siren with the like that. It was that kind of, oh fuck, what are we walking into?
Yeah, it was Brentford v Liverpool that opened the season the first year they came up. I mean, at the G-Tech.
You mean Brentford Arsenal?
It was the first game of the season. I thought, oh no, it was us, wasn't it?
Yeah,
it was us.
Yep.
Yeah. I mean, it was just scenes, right? They were well up for it. Does anybody
night in with the sheet from the crest through the stands?
So,
oh my god, it was so good.
Do you know what that is? That's the Lambton Worm.
Okay.
It's an old Northeast folk tale. Even the people of Newcastle are familiar with it. But it was a kid who found a salamander. Not a worm, I know, strange, but threw it in a well on his property, got recruited and went to go fight in the Crusades, came back. This thing had grew up and taken over his town or whatever. I guess found some witch, made a deal with the witch. She basically said, what do I got to do to get rid of this worm? And she goes, all right, you kill the worm, but after you kill the worm, you got to kill the next living thing that you see, or bad luck will follow you forever or whatever. And so he goes, all right, sounds good. I could do that. So he goes to his father and he says, after I kill this worm, you got to release the dog and I'm going to kill the dog.
Right.
And Dad was like, all right, yeah, okay. So the guy goes and kills the worm. Dad comes outside and was like, well done, son. And he goes, I told you to let the dog out, you asshole. And then killed his dad. Yeah. So that's the worm.
Right.
Yeah. That's what... why that's there. It didn't make a lot of sense, but that's why it's there.
It was
but why there's black cats on their shirt, I don't know. On their crest.
First half was a little cagey, right? But you could kind of tell Sunderland was ready for the occasion.
Oh yeah,
Sunderland was, and
the crowd was well up for it.
It was just a matter of when, not if. Like the ball was going in the back of the net. It's just when it was going to happen.
Absolutely.
And frankly, West Ham looked intimidated. They played intimidated. And then the second half, and Sunderland just walked all over them.
Big time. They're 3 new signings out of their many that they had provided the assists for all 3 goals.
Yep.
The last goal in particular, I thought the goalkeeping from the new West Ham keeper was absolutely atrocious. And that's something they're going to need to be very concerned about. This game, and we'll see how next weekend goes, but for all of you that don't know, Sam and I do predict the entire table. We also do top goal scorer, FA Cup winner, League Cup winner, and dark horse, and then first manager sacked are the 5 extra categories. So there's 25 questions per season.
I think we're currently at for the 6 seasons we've done it. I think we're at 12-12.
Yeah.
Or no, I'm up
I think
by
you're
one.
like 13 to 12 or something.
13 to 12 because that's how many we get right.
But not the point. The point is now I've got an entirely new approach to the first manager sacked after seeing this performance. He, was also saying things like Amarim was it takes a while to learn my system and this, that, the other, blah. Now West Ham haven't really backed him. That's absolutely fair. They've actually sold a couple of pieces, but this goalkeeper in particular was somebody he really touted. And yes, it's early days. They're only 90 minutes in. Blah 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 blah. Do all your caveats, but this is going to be the thing that we can properly judge Graham Potter on. I think.
Yeah,
and it started horribly.
Yeah, they looked real bad. Yes, producer Mel.
Timio wonders, is West Ham in trouble?
Yeah. I think
absolutely.
I think, and we're going to talk about it here a little bit, but all 3 of the teams that lost here are all in trouble, and I think that obviously Wolves did not. Wolves look but they're in trouble. Well, I got an impression on them, but let's keep to where we are right now. West Ham looked epically bad, and yes, it's the buzzsaw going into the newly promoted club's stadium for the first time that they've been up in 10 years. All of that plays into it, but show something, and they showed nothing.
Yeah, and with on the emotion side of it also, West Ham are still a giant name. They're still a scalp.
Yeah.
Especially for somebody that hasn't been present in the Premier League in, 11 years or whatever. It's been 9 years.
Yeah. Not for nothing, they're a recent European trophy winning club.
It's
they're a
huge.
massive scalp.
It's fucking huge for Sunderland to get them confidence, to get that, that togetherness, to weather kind of the storm of the first half. West Ham looked okay for the first 20 minutes. Now, couldn't really create a clear-cut chance, but they controlled the play.
Right.
But the way they were picked apart once Sunderland settled in was just so poor. So poor. And then Sunderland were kind of bossing the remainder of the game.
Yeah.
It's just, I worry for West Ham this season.
So
I really worry for West Ham this season.
So with the next match, I'm going to talk about the losing team first, and then we'll talk about Spurs second.
The board might disappearioso Graham Potter.
Yeah, exactly. Heard. I know your Potter jokes.
Levioso your jabo,
right.
mofo.
Show title. Burnley decided to go 4-5-1, and they were going to park the bus, and they were going to be the resolute defensive team that they were.
Is it 12 minutes?
Welcome to the fucking Prem. This is
Again.
This is going to be a long season, and Scotty, you got to figure out something, because there was a few kind of breaks and opportunities, and you're a big you're a big defensive team. Spurs keeper is notoriously horrific on corners. You got something like 7-8 corners in the first half.
You got to take advantage of something. Yeah,
you're not pushing them fuck, guys.
So, but that's the thing, right? So some of the defensive question marks about Tottenham still exist. Burnley was able to create some chances, but those same issues that Burnley had when they were up last time about scoring goals, even last season in the championship, a lot of what they accomplished in the championship was defensive based.
Was winning 1-0.
Exactly,
a lot of 1-0 wins.
They need to figure out a way to score goals, and they need to do it quickly. But I think that Scotty doesn't know.
Yeah, exactly.
Personally,
yeah. Now,
because the last 2 jobs he had, he showed he didn't know as well.
I can say the following. Thomas Frank's philosophy, you could see it all over that team. And Big Ange did exactly what he said he was going to do, which was win him a fucking title. And he won him a very big fucking title, right? And that got him in Champions League. And that shouldn't be brushed under the rug, right? But you can tell these players are fully bought in.
Oh,
they're like, we like what he's doing. We're and that even showed with a player like Richarlison, who was completely iced out by Ange. And it's essentially, you could tell Solanke wasn't 100% and ready to start. But if you're the hot hand, Frank's is going to play you.
Yeah,
and Richie had 2 fucking beautiful goals.
Well, the second one especially, obviously, the scissor kick was fantastic.
Oh, and the first one, the way he, instead of running at goal, kind of took that little step back and that ball curve right. Like, there's a lot to be said about how he made sure he was in the right spot in the box.
At the right time, yeah.
You know? That team looked loose and not tense. And granted, they were playing not a good team that was not really offering anything on the offensive side of the field. But that's still, considering how bad last year was, this is a complete fucking turnaround.
Yeah, so I would caveat that it is Burnley, right? I want to see what they do against somebody that's a bit better.
They play City next.
The other
right?
side to that, right, is how well they took PSG on Wednesday in the UEFA Super Cup, right?
Yep.
They now it was ultimately the most Spursy thing Spurs have ever Spurs. They were 2-0 up in the 85th minute against the reigning Champions League champions. And shipped 2 goals and then lost in pens to lose the Super Cup, which was excellent in my opinion from them. But what it did show is that they have a little bit of prowess now. They have a way to change their tactics mid-game. They have an idea of what they're fucking doing, essentially. And
same midfielders, yet their midfield looked 1,000 times better than it looked at all last season.
Right, because they're not being told to just sprint 100% of the time. Like,
right.
They played with a togetherness and a kind of verve that they had the understanding there. Where we talked about Arsenal looked a little disjointed. Well, Zubamendi's new, which changes the way everybody else plays and interacts with each other. You said exactly that. The squad itself, besides Kudus, really was largely unchanged from last season that started this game.
Pretty much.
For the most part.
Yeah.
Same with PSG. On Wednesday, they have an understanding with each other. It's just Frank plugging his tactics into this group. And we've seen them be intelligent because it was largely the same group from the year before. And they were decent in that season, in Ainge's first season. Yeah. So, at one point they were top of the fucking table going into December, and then a bunch of people got hurt and they went off a cliff. But exactly.
They were challenging everyone in his first season.
These players have the understanding. They have the relationship. They just needed the tactics to put it together and the ability to stay fit. And if they can stay fit, they can grow and learn. And Thomas Frank will adjust his system and adjust his tactics to sort out this defensive frailty. Because if Burnley Vicario, I think, made 4 saves.
Yeah.
If Burnley are creating that many chances against you, I mean, you're lucky it was them.
Yeah, fair. Also, to counteract that too, Thomas Frank's Brentford wasn't particularly a great defensive squad.
Right.
They were very good in the middle of the field and very good offensively. Yeah. And they were okay with beating a team 4-3 from time to time. I will say one thing you cannot say about this Tottenham squad this past weekend.
Didn't bring to the game not just the basics of football, I believe the basics of life.
Which Jose said about the Tottenham team he was managing.
Exactly right.
Finally, Chris Wood gets a brace. Forest look like they haven't lost a fucking step. They were a little concerned about bringing in some people. They signed a couple of people over the week. They looked perfect.
Yeah.
Yeah, this team's going to be right in the hunt for Europe again.
Absolutely.
All the things we were worried about, look great.
5 minutes. It took Chris Wood to get off the mark again. I mean, it was absolutely excellent. And Doy had a decent header, and then some fairly sloppy midfield play. Oh, wait a second. They sold Norgard, so now it's probably characteristically sloppy midfield play. Kind of gifted. That second goal to Forest to an extent, I think.
Agreed.
Now, I think they will sort it out. The Bees, haven't been known, even under Thomas Frank, to have a kind of strange result that you go, wow, you've been playing actually pretty well, and then you turn up that performance, Think about the Luton game that they lost a couple of seasons ago. I'm pretty sure it was Luton, or maybe Luton came back and drew, or they just, the Bees just completely fell apart. So there are some things to work on. there are some stuff. What I really, my only takeaway, because it's such early days, is that I fucking hate those kind of seemingly Stranger Things inspired shirts they were wearing. Mm-hmm. The blue I thought was ugly. I didn't like that shade of blue. It looked like the patch looked brown instead of red. Mm-hmm. Next to that blue, it looked very strange. I didn't like it, and it made me uncomfortable.
The jerseys, the kits, I could give a fuck about, but everything you just said about their playing and everything, I completely disagree with. Of all the teams that lost this weekend, that's including West Ham, Brentford looked the most disorganized, out of sorts. Their manager looks out of fucking depth. They look too young. Everything I thought of them, right, where everybody's like, no, they'll be all right. They'll sort it out. They looked exactly like I thought they were going to look.
I just don't think you could judge it on 90 minutes fully yet.
They got a penalty, and I'm sure it's the first week of the season, but I'm telling you, like, this is a team I think two teams are surviving, and I think this is one of the two teams going fucking down. Unless they fix some shit really, really fucking quick, they are going to be a mess, and everything they did in this match proved to me, now again, whole season of play, but it reinforced every fucking fear I have for this team in watching them play. They were that fucking bad. Wolves gave up 4 goals. Wolves looked better than the fucking Bees.
Yeah, I don't disagree with that. I mean, the last line I wrote in my notes here, I said the Brentford did a couple of good things, but Forrester well drilled, and they also kept hold of most of their starting 11, minus obviously Anthony Elanga. So I'm not necessarily prepared to write the Bees off just yet, but yeah, no, it was not a good performance. I'm not proud of them by any means.
What were we going to do? Like pat him on the back and tell him good boy?
Yeah. No.
Sam Graham, new kink unlocked. Rounding out the rest of the league, and so that happened. Villa 0, Newcastle 0, Brighton 1, Fulham 1, Man City 4, Wolves 0, Chelsea 0, Palace 0, Leeds 1, Everton 0. Funny, the exact opposites happened on the pitch for Villa and Newcastle. Newcastle, seemingly a dumpster fire, all this outside noise and craziness going on, didn't really seem to have anything together. Villa lost some pieces, but organized, ready to go into Europe. You would have thought Villa had been playing for 4 months. They look like the dog days of December, dragging their feet. And Newcastle looked lively.
Making dumb fouls.
And in it, I mean, just they were up for it. Like Isak who. Now, I will say, if they had Isak, in the first half, they'd been up 3-0. That's the big thing.
Yeah, I don't think Anthony Gordon really worked as a false 9, personally.
And then when they went to Barnes, and they like that didn't work either. The rumor is Wisa, right? Mm-hmm. And I gotta imagine it's going to happen.
That's another thing that was hanging over that Brentford side as well, too, that we didn't mention when we went over that game was, that's another big player and another emotional kind of letdown that we're being dismantled, and how much that those players could have gotten up for that game anyway.
Yeah, but that front office needs to make adjustments and buy some people.
100%.
They've always bought people, and they aren't. Like, that's my issue with them. So.
Sure, Billy says if they had Wilson, it would have been 3.
Yeah, I mean, even Colin Wilson would have. Yes, they had wide open opportunities. The reason why Villa stayed in that match is the new keeper.
Oh, yeah. Since the mastectomy, he has played fantastic.
He played...
Get it? Used to play for Brest.
Yeah.
See what I did there?
Yes, I did.
He played
he was
fantastic.
He was excellent.
I felt
that
real
save
good
off
about
Elanga right at the beginning of the match.
Well, what is it I told you about him? You were like, oh, baby, you're speaking my language. He was on and ready and eager and active and energized, and I felt compelled by him.
Who's this, Anthony Elanga? Is that what you said?
No, Mesut.
I missed it. Oh, yeah.
Well, it's because she was like, it never looked like Robert Olsen was ready to play.
No, absolutely.
And I kind of explained to her, I said, there's 2 different types of backup keepers.
You said when he made the save on Elanga.
Yeah.
That's what you said. Yeah. I knew I heard Elanga's name.
There was, there's two different types of backup keepers, right? There is Mark Travers, who is going to be backing up Jordan Pickford. Mark Travers knows he will only play if Pickford gets hurt, right? And then you have a Aaron Ramsdale behind Nick Pope situation. Aaron Ramsdale plans on being the motherfucking starter, right? And there's been talk that Emmy may get sold to Saudi, right? Like they may... That keeper played like a keeper that went, I was playing in Champions League last year. I played for a great side in Belgium. I am ready to be the starting keeper on this team.
But which you heard what he said. You heard what he said afterwards.
Was literally there to be the starting keeper.
Exactly, literally. You know, the Dutch, a literal people.
Did you hear after the game though? Did you hear what he said?
No.
So after the game, he said, "I know why I'm here." But so the other thing is, he's 34 years old. He's been a number one his entire career, and he's Dutch. So what he said was, "I know why I was brought to this club. I was brought in to be Emi Martinez's understudy. He's younger than me. He's won the World Cup. I have not."
Right.
Said, but my job is to push him as hard as I can push him.
I love that.
And he was suspended, obviously. So from those comments, it almost sounds like the backup plan is a very good plan 1A.
Yeah.
If Emmy goes. If he doesn't, they've got two really good keepers. If he does go, then he's just a starter, and that's fine because he's been a starter.
He'll be ready to rock and roll.
We've been lucky with Emmy as far as injuries go, but last season he had a few knocks that didn't recover as quickly. So I feel really good about our backup, and that's about the one thing I feel good about from that game.
Dead away red card. It's not even doesn't even need to be debated.
What the fuck was he thinking?
He just you pull him down. You take you pull him down. You take the red card so that way you don't find yourself in a scenario where you're down 1-0. Because if you pull him to the ground, he can't score.
Exactly.
And you take your red and you miss a game, and you'll be all right. And that is a professional red card out of Konza.
Yeah, but the flip side to that, and this may have been a little bit calculated with kind of the stunted Newcastle attack, is you take the red, you immediately put your team under pressure, and you have to trust your 10-man drill is going to work.
Right.
Right? Against the team that pipped you to the Champions League spots last season.
Yeah.
So is that the game to do it, or would it be better served to do that against a Burnley, for instance?
Probably.
Because not only are you now putting your team under pressure, you're putting them under pressure against a good team.
Right.
You know? And for he could have had 8 saves. If he lets in 1... He had a great game. You still lost the fucking game.
Yeah, true. Yeah.
So it's almost better. Like, we have a better chance to score if we got 11 people on the field.
Right.
So do we let him go through? He's also been playing a blinder all game.
Yeah. Fair.
Let him take the chance.
Very fair.
But it's a split-second decision. You can't, go through all those things.
Yeah, it's not Olsen back
once.
in the net.
We've already spoken too much about a very, very boring match. Again, another boring match that just happened to have a couple of goals in it. The outcome felt right. There was a couple of pens that Fulham felt that they should have had, and the pen that Brighton did get was a little soft. So it's like, to pen or not to pen, is that the question kind of scenario?
Possible show title there.
You just
to
kind
pen
of
or not to pen. I like that.
Meh, the one thing I would say to Brighton is you had a 1-0 lead in your building. See that bitch out. See that bitch out.
Yeah. It's a game you have to see out.
And for Muniz, it's exactly what he needed because he a little
bit fortunate the ball got to him in the first place, but a very composed and well done finish.
Put it away,
Yeah.
Like I said, for me, that's just because for next week for Brighton, I mean, yes, Brighton is a very good team, but you're going to Everton in the brand new opening of their stadium, so
it's not a great.
At best, you're starting the season probably with 2 draws.
Right.
It's not a good scenario to be going into, and you had the game won.
I also think
you had it fucking won.
I think Matoma needs help stretching.
Yeah,
because he did not look like his high flying best.
No.
And there was a couple of times where some Fulham defenders caught up to him. And he seemed to be at least kind of clean away, but he didn't look as sharp as I anticipated him when I drafted him in our fantasy league.
Yeah.
Cairo Matoma, and that kind of blows. But fair and polite result. Also, possession 50-50. Shots 10-7, pretty even. Shots on target 4-2. fairly even.
Yeah, it felt like a 1-to-1 match.
Yeah,
it felt like
it's
exactly
it's
the
a
way
very
it should've.
polite gentleman's agreement, handshake. Nobody get hurt here. Let's just
We're going to move on to the
ease
next
into
one,
the
fellas.
season.
We're
Yeah.
going to move on to the next one.
ease
And
into the season.
moving on to the next one, Manchester City decided to let everybody know, hey, by the way, fuckers, we won 4 in a row before our little, quote, hiccup last season. They looked on, and all the new players looked pretty fucking well bedded in.
Yeah.
And Holland with a brace. I mean, the first one was the easiest tap in the world, but, you know.
I mean, he had missed 4 before that.
Yeah.
That he didn't look quite so sharp. But they had, you know, City had loads of chances. They recycle possession really well. But like I said about Liverpool, when they do that, their fullbacks get sucked up so far that it isolates those center backs. And all you need is a little bit of pace. It's still pace and height for all the tactics and all the positions you can put yourself in and phases of play and XG and this, that, the fucking other. Height and speed are the 2 things that scare any fucking footballer.
Mm-hmm.
And Wolves had way too many chances for me.
They did.
I think they still look a little shaky at the back. Now, Trafford played very, very well for being drafted in last minute because Ederson had an illness amidst a bunch of transfer speculation to Saudi, amongst other clubs.
I heard Galatasaray, too.
Could be as well.
Yeah.
And then I know the initial talk all summer had been Saudi, but also PSG seem poised to let Donnarumma go.
Right.
So there's another potential landing spot.
I was going to say that it's going to be one of the 2 Manchester clubs is pulling him in. I honestly
Potentially,
think,
yeah, but I think Trafford impressed enough that he might be safe there.
I think City's doing one of their bits where they kind of act like they want to go for somebody. Like, remember with Ronaldo where they came in, they were like, oh, yeah, I think we're interested in picking up. And then United
Drives
way
the
too
price
much
up.
money.
Yeah.
I think they're doing that fuckery right now to
Could be.
United.
But yeah, so I thought Wolves had far too many chances, but City dealt with them well, and eventually you shoot enough times, the dam's going to break. I mean, if the dam's under enough pressure, the water's eventually going to burst through, and that's what happened.
I fear,
Jose Sa just also couldn't get his fucking hands to a goddamn thing.
I fear that Wolves ultimately won't have enough unless this ownership goes out and gets them a few more pieces. The Colombian player who came on late, I'm interested to see what he ends up being. Arias for them. He could be that Cunha type player for them. Jury is still out on me. And like I told you, they gave up the most goals. And I was less impressed with the 3 teams that lost in the second segment than I was by these guys. Like, they at least showed something.
Yeah.
Now, I don't know if that catches up to them ultimately. The season's long, but that's fine. You got this one out of the way. Move on to the next fucking game.
Don't let it affect you that much. It was the first game of the season. You're against, as you said, 4 of the last 5 leagues have been won by this team. So, it's fine. Just don't worry about it.
I would normally do the 2 teams played a professional match in the English Premier League, but that would be taking away something from Palace because Palace played really fucking well.
Yeah, I thought they did as well.
Dog shit match to watch.
It was pretty tepid. Chelsea had a lot of possession, did fuck all with it. Absolutely fuck all with it.
Skied over the net a few times,
but Palace forced Sanchez into more saves.
Yeah.
So Palace definitely had the more quality chances. Eza had the ball in the back of the net. Foul obviously ruled that out. That free kick. Now the reason that was given was that Mark Gahey was too close to the opposing team's wall. So Chelsea's wall, apparently, IFAB has passed a rule that you can't be within a yard of the opposing player's wall, and that's if that wall contains 3 or more players.
Right.
He also grabbed, I can't remember who it was for Chelsea, but he grabbed somebody and essentially just shoved them out of the way. So call that.
Yeah, that would have made a lot more sense.
Not some obscure new rule that's
makes
bullshit.
It very weird.
It's very strange. No one knew the rule existed, and everybody was very confused when it happens, and it's fucking stupid.
That felt like back in the day when we played indoor, like the rule that like the one ref Chile would just decide this is the rule. I'm going to call it every fucking game you play.
Yeah, it's a really obscure thing, and I hated it, and it made a pretty good-looking goal, a bright spot in a shit game. It made it irrelevant. And it sucks.
And finally, if you hear the expression Everton That, and as an Everton supporter, I'm not going to get too much into it. It wasn't Clattenburg. Oh fuck, I'm forgetting who the ref was.
Today?
Kavanaugh. If you know, you know. Just understand that in the last 5 years, every major kind of crazy call that went against Everton, Kavanaugh was either the center official or the VAR. He was the off you pop to fucking Carlo. He was the Gylfi sitting on the ground was blinding 6'4" David De Gea. He was the Hugo Lloris got a pinky to the ball, so him going spikes up on Richarlison was definitely not a penalty. He's that guy, right?
He's our Stuart Atwell.
He is that guy, right? And we'll get to the pen in a moment. But it's a newly promoted side. Check for Everton. They love to lose to newly promoted sides. Your backup center back wasn't playing center back because he had to play right back because, well, you haven't fucking signed one yet. And then your starting center midfielder was playing left back because your starting left back was injured, but the new left back that you signed apparently is too young and not ready to play yet, so didn't even make the fucking bench. Like, it is everything that Everton could ever Everton that was this match.
And you remember who played a lot of left wing back?
Mm-hmm.
You know who played a lot of left wing back?
Who?
Dwight McNeil.
Yeah.
To great effect at Burnley when he first started off.
And he sat on the bench and didn't come in.
Would have been better than that.
Would have been well, especially because then James Gardner would have been in the middle of the field, which would have helped with the fact that Leeds dominated the fucking entire first half.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, dominated it. The one
so they
thing,
had 12 shots at halftime, not on target, but 12 shots to your zero.
Zero. I think we had one shot on target and like 4 all day.
Yeah.
Is what we ended up having. But the one thing that Leeds has to look at and be very concerned about is the fact that they had all the opportunities and they challenged Pickford once in the first half.
Right.
Pickford had to make one good save in the first half.
Yeah.
Pickford had to make one real good save in the second half. So you didn't really challenge him. Now, all the crosses in and everything, the signing of Dominic Calvert-Lewin, that is exactly his game as a striker. Now he has to stay healthy and be on the pitch and put the ball in the back of the net.
Did you see the thing that was shared before the game that said Dominic Calvert-Lewin wouldn't be making his Leeds debut today because he rolled his ankle getting off the team bus in the new high heels he was wearing?
Yes.
Brilliant.
Oh,
he's known for making quite questionable fashion choices.
But to the handball, you know what? Fine, call that a handball. It was not below the bend of his elbow, and it hit a lot of his jersey to go along with his chest. He leaned towards it. That's fine. All of that is fine. Call that handball in every fucking match. You fucking won't.
No.
It won't get called.
But that's we had this discussion earlier, and
Yeah.
I know we want to bring some of those discussions to the show. Obviously, is why we have them. The standard of refereeing in England has been poor for some time, and we know this. The way they've handled VAR, everything has been kind of shit. And I'm surprised you didn't remember Kavanaugh's name, because one of the main points, and I'll just teach you this.
I was just blanking.
It's okay. I'll just a little advice. If you're going to come up with a conspiracy theory, you should remember the main player's name. All right.
I almost said Clattenburg is why, and that's why I forgot Kavanaugh.
I know, you're good.
At least you knew it wasn't friend.
Yeah.
Isn't that who y'all hate, right? Yeah. Ours is Stuart Atwell. But my point...
Tyranny for Klopp specifically, not Liverpool, for Klopp specifically.
Yeah.
He's never played the game, hence why can he ref? How can
Paul
he ref?
Tierney, yeah. So my point is that the just in general, case in point, very simple. We're going to crack down on holding in the box. Luke Shaw horse collar tackled Gabriel.
Yeah.
No call.
Yeah.
That's specifically what you said you were going to crack down on. Mm-hmm. What happened? I counted at least 3 incidents other than that one. That's the one that I saw most close up because it's my game. I'm watching it most intensely. But I saw 3 other holdings in the box that didn't get called. So what are you cracking down on?
Friday, the only the captain can talk to the official, right? Only the captain.
Uh-huh.
First questionable call, the handball, right? That they ended up not calling a handball. Van Dijk and 3 other Liverpool players. Van Dijk actually turned him and pushed him away.
Right.
But they all surrounded the ref immediately. Where's the fucking yellows? You said there were going to be yellows. You said if everybody's around, you fucking yellow cards.
Right.
Like,
what happened there? Exactly.
there was the opportunity.
So, right, you lay the law down. But they say this all the time, right? And then part of it is also it's hard to be consistent when different human beings are involved.
Of course.
And different interpretations of those rules. But as a group, why aren't you getting together and coming up with a common interpretation to apply to your trade?
Mm-hmm.
Because something that happens at Goodison Park versus the Emirates versus Elland Road versus St. James Park versus the Amex shouldn't be handled in different fucking ways. Mm-hmm. Period. Regardless of the clubs involved. It could be fucking Burnley versus Stockport in the League Cup. Mm-hmm. Why is a handball there, not a handball here?
Right.
It doesn't make sense. Or vice versa.
And not for nothing, remember, Rodri, now this would have won Liverpool the title, but it would have granted Everton a chance to take a penalty if they had made that penalty. Rodri, arm in the air, fully in the air, but because it hit part of his shirt sleeve, they considered it not to be a handball. It's exactly where it hit Tarkovsky.
Right.
It's exactly
and
where
his
it hit
arm
Tarkovsky.
wasn't extended.
It was next to his body, and he was turning. Fine. If we're going to call that a handball, I'm fine with it being called a handball.
Just call it for everybody.
Call it a handball all the time. And we all know you won't. We know you as a league will not. Kavanaugh alone will not.
The other point of contention to this was ball goes out of bounds. 7 to 9 seconds or so of time passes. Then the whistle gets blown and a penalty given.
After
he touches his ear. Now, both linesmen, the fourth official, and the VAR are attached to that headset. So don't know who's talking.
Yeah.
But the problem is the referee very obviously didn't make that call.
Right.
He should have been sent to the monitor, and he should have been directed to look at the play for himself.
Yeah. But instead, they're like, nothing conclusive to change the call on the field. But the call on the field wasn't your fucking call.
It wasn't your call because you touched your ear first and at least gave the impression that somebody told you to blow the fucking whistle.
Yet again, another dog shit match we're talking too much about. Hey, everybody, if you're new to the show, every time our teams lose, which mine loses a lot, we have to do a shot of Malört, which is widely considered one of the world's worst tasting alcohols. I like to refer to it as if earwax threw up.
Yep.
And so up the tofefes.
It's a fitting way for that to end.
I've not missed you. Tastes like fucking Kavanaugh's officiating. Sure money.
Very possibly the last season of this.
Why? Because you never win?
Yeah, I haven't won a bet in 2 years, I don't think. So I am going to be a bit more sensible this time. There's still going to be parlays, but they're going to be way more sensible this time. So
9-way parlay.
This one is only 5. But so you've beat me the last 2 seasons in this
and you've had
in
to
this
do
segment,
3 shots of Malört,
which is ironically named Shore Money, because I can't seem to get my head out of my ass when spending my children's college fund on sports gambling. So, Sammy, I'm going to let you go first as usual. We never bet on the first week of the season. That's why we have no result. We always start week 2 because betting week 1 is so much of a crapshoot that it just shouldn't be done.
Same gentleman's agreement. Loser for Shore Money does 3 shots of Malört.
I'm in for that.
Very good. If that happens to be both you lose fantasy and betting, you or I, it'll be back-to-back weeks. We're not going to make one of the two of us do six
Just make the
Malört
cocktails doubles, you know?
Yeah. Fair. None around there. I'm going to go ahead and take a 2-leg of Road Dogs. Give me Villa to win at the Bees, because I am not convinced at all by the Bees, despite the fact that Villa played so poorly. And despite the fact that Palace played so well, Palace is got Europa in the midweek, and I got Forest going to beat Palace at Palace for plus 598.
Big Sam's Lock of the Week.
and I forgot to do that.
Yeah.
Did you know?
Oh, I knew. I was just let you fuck it up.
Well, you asked me and I did my thing. Well, I don't have any percentages. Just know that it works. It works all the time.
Loads
That's
of times.
why it's the lock of the week.
Loads of times it works.
It works more than yours.
Yeah. All right. So I'm going to find myself a soundbite for this too, at some point. I won't.
No.
So I've got a 5.
That requires you doing work.
I've got a 5-way parlay, but after you hear it, you're going to be like, oh, that should work. Mm-hmm. And for real, it should. Chelsea to beat West Ham.
Not good gambling.
You pushed it at the wrong time because Chelsea beating West Ham is a given. Mm-hmm. West Ham are terrible.
In order to beat them, Chelsea has to score.
They will.
Chelsea can't score.
They will. Mm-hmm. That's how bad West Ham are. Mm-hmm. City versus Tottenham. Both teams to score. That's it.
Okay. You know what? I won't hit a button.
That's the only part of that. Exactly. Yeah. I'm not fucking around because this game in the last few years has thrown up any old result. Mm-hmm. So I'm not fucking around with it. Both teams to score is the only thing that consistently happens. Villa or draw with Brentford because Brentford looked like shit, but Villa couldn't score. Mm-hmm. Even though they had a couple of chances. So I could see another 0-0 or Villa walks away with it because Brentford is that bad. Mm-hmm.
9-way parlay.
No. Sunderland to win away at Burnley because Sunderland looks like they're trying and Burnley sucks. Mm-hmm. So I think that's going to happen. And then Arsenal to beat Leeds.
Get it the fuck together, Sam.
So this returns me plus 1347.
All right.
So the bookies don't agree with me, but I think it's a surefire thing.
Very good. Very good. Well, that is going to wrap it up, boys and girls. Mr. Graham, any parting words?
Yes, there are parting words. There is one more cunt that I have to talk about.
All right. What happened?
Less serious than the racist abuse at Anfield, although it took place in the same stadium. I don't know if you saw the clip that was going around of the gentleman in the cop that was celebrating one of Liverpool's goals, and his friend reaches up and pantses him, and basically he was standing on the advertising hoardings or on his chair in the front row or two, and old Stewart got a whole cock right to the face. Not like hit him, but like right in his face, and the camera angle behind, we all got to see his bum bum. We all got to see his bum bum. So while we took care of the real cunt of the week in the game recap and talked about the racist guy, this dude's friend's an absolute cunt as well.
Mm-hmm. You are not wrong.
Good stuff.
All right. Well, next up is going to be the opening episode of DU Does EFL, where we're going to recap the rest of English football, who's already been going on for a couple, 2-3 weeks already as it is. So a lot to talk about there. And then, of course, after that, we're going to do Injury Time, where we talk about the beers we were drinking, catch up on our adopted club Ibs, check in on our fantasy scores, new season of that as well, and preview the weekend's action. Should you want to support the program, Mr. Graham, how do you go about doing it?
To get all the extra stuff, all you got to do is patreon.com/DUFootball Show and sign up to that $5 tier and you get everything extra that we do. I will mention, though, DU Does EFL is free. That is not part of the Patreon package, although there are some extra things we talk about sometimes on Soundcheck and Injury Time that do include the EFL clubs.
Absolutely. All right. Well, back in the saddle, Mr. Graham. Another season ahead of us.
Feeling good. So I think we played a blinder here.
We didn't do bad. I liked it. Missing my Big Sam's lock of the week. I thought.
Yeah, I didn't fuck up once.
And
this is great.
And hey, producer Mel.
Yes.
Meh. Till next week, everybody.
Good night.
Born in the land of Bowie, Maryland. Bred to be a fan of fucking Everton. Punch you in the eye and drink your rye. Sam Houston.
Sam Houston.
Arsenal fans have another Sam. Right day, the fucking Gooner Graham. Stump of Malört. Look straight in shorts.